got tonight. Been a lot of people talking to people and doing things and raising questions, and that shows that God is at work. Who's got something for us tonight?
I do.
Okay. I don't know. I can't see who
It's
that.
John.
John.
Johnny Rocco.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if everybody has ever heard about the Yellowstone caldera. Supposedly there is a super volcano brewing under the Yellowstone. And I saw some videos through the past couple of days where animal herds are moving away from the caldera. And I think animals can sense things that are going on. So if this thing might be blowing soon, I don't know. Just
if it blows, do you know how large the Yellowstone caldera is?
Isn't it the largest volcano on the surface of Earth?
I think it is. If it's not, it's.
Well, Hawaii's got a real big one too.
Oh, no.
Nowhere near as large.
This is 500 miles across. And it has been sinking several inches a year. Before a volcano explodes, it generally sinks. The crust of it sinks as all that activity is going on underneath. And Yellowstone has been sinking several inches a year now for a very long time, for a century that we've been tracking it.
There's an older video that shows if it does blow, the effects will be felt as far east as Western Pennsylvania.
Well, the immediate effects, the long-term effects.
The dust.
Anybody know what was unique about 1813? This is something, because there is a huge deception that they're trying to sell us about this global warming nonsense. Why is the Earth warming today?
I don't think it is.
Is it?
It is.
It is warmer than it was in the past.
Why? That's the question. And see, what they count on and what Satan has tried to do in the American educational system is destroy history. We don't study history. We don't learn history. And if you can separate people from history, what is most of the Bible? History. It is God acting in the past. Because when we know how God has acted in the past, we know his character to act in the present and the future.
Because he doesn't change.
Because God doesn't change.
What happened in 1813? I have no idea.
Well, wait, before you do that, real quick, you wonder what
Got real cold.
what happened? Don't weather go in cycles?
In 1813 is called the year without a summer. There was snow, accumulatable snow, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in every month of the year, including July and August.
Wow.
1813.
Yeah. Why?
Did we have a big nuclear bomb that went off somewhere?
Yes.
And that dust.
That nuclear bomb was Mount Tambora.
Oh, it was a volcano.
It was a volcano out in the Pacific Ocean, and it threw so much ash into the air that for 3 years, the air was not. Linda, you're chipmunking. Seems always. It threw so much ash into the air that for 3 years we didn't have normal sunlight. And at the height of it in 1813, the earth had cooled so much. But the year without a summer was simply the end of what's called the Little Ice Age. From the 500s AD, maybe 400s AD, until the 1800s, the Earth was in a small ice age. Its temperature was far below normal. Not a huge ice age like other ones, but it was big enough. Why did the Vikings destroy Europe through the early Middle Ages? Remember the Vikings that just about destroyed European culture with their raids and destruction of shipping and
Food.
because they could no longer grow food in their traditional homelands in Norway and in Scandinavia. And they were forced to migrate south or to raid south, steal the food and go back to because the earth was far cooler than it had normally been. If you go back to the 200s AD, 100 and some years after Jesus was on the earth, Rome grew grapes in England. They had vineyards and produced wine in England. Does anybody produce wine in England today?
No.
I don't know.
Why?
Oh,
It's too cold. Where do you produce wine in Europe?
France,
France. What part of France?
southern France,
South of France and
northern Italy.
Italy, Greece, which is several hundred miles south of England. Because there it's warm enough for grapes. But 1800 years ago, it was that warm in England, what they call Britannia. So, yes, the earth is warming because it has been in a cold spell and it's coming out of it. So don't let the politicians lie to you and say you've got to give up all your freedoms because of this thing, because it's a natural cycle of what God has set up. But if you go to Revelation,
Just out of curiosity, what freedoms are we giving up?
I sent it.
they want to take away most of well, first of all, we're giving away a huge amount of freedom because they have taxed us so heavily on gasoline and things like that in the name of saving the environment that they've made transportation so much more expensive.
I thought that was for like road repairs and things like that.
A lot of it came under the environmental bills and special taxations for that. When I was a kid, some of you are my age, gasoline was 49 cents when I started driving in 1975. How much was diesel?
Lower than that, right?
I thought diesel was always more than gas.
45 cents. Which is only 4 cents difference, but that's a 10% of, it was 10%. What's diesel now compared to gas? Why?
Tractor trailers and all the trucks.
Because the tax on it is higher.
Because the tax on it is much, much cheaper to make diesel than gasoline. There are several extra steps of refining between diesel and gasoline. But diesel is much more because they have, why? Because of the environmental.
Save the earth.
And so all of those things create poverty that keeps us. Just 5-6 years ago, How much was food compared to now?
Yeah.
Just a few years ago, I remember, because I eat out a lot, because I just don't want to be bothered. You could go out and get a decent meal for $10, $12 at a sit-down restaurant. Can you get a decent meal at a sit-down restaurant for $10, $15 anymore? No,
Burger King.
20, 25, 30. Yeah. And what does that do? It keeps us in poverty, and it keeps us dependent. And how is it that Antichrist is going to rise to power? He is going to be the one who claims to be able to solve all our problems.
So his answer is just simply gonna be, let's lower the prices on everything.
Well, I don't know what his specific answers are going to be, but this idea of what this whole climate has done has fostered a dependence on government. And Antichrist needs people who expect the government to solve their problems. When my father was a child in 1925, 1930, 1935, did people expect that the government would solve all their problems?
No,
What was the expectation?
self-reliance.
That you would work hard, and when you had a crisis, what would happen?
Church would help.
Church would help you, or
Incoming
Well, I
transmission.
guess it depends on the crisis.
family would help you, or
Neighbors and.
neighborhood would help you. If you were rural and you had a barn burned down, what would happen?
Neighbors would come. Help
Yeah.
fix
So there weren't fire departments or?
Oh, there may have been fire departments. They were volunteer, like many of the rural ones are now. They weren't paid, fire departments. But, it wasn't that the government came in and did that. It was the neighborhood came together and worked together. Very much like the Amish still do today. You have a barn burned down in the Amish community, what do they have?
A barn
Smart building party.
Yeah, barn raising,
Well, they do that every day anyway.
Get it done in one day.
one day, yeah. But we have fostered an entire, not just this nation, but the whole world, where people expect the government to solve all their problems. In Revelation, where is this? 14. Yeah, there's, where it talks about, an angel is sent out to prepare for the great battle.
And a woman led into the wilderness, not that part of. That's in 12. There was war in heaven, no.
Are you talking about the one with the serpents chase?
Yeah, the
chase
evil
after?
spirits that are like frogs.
Revelation 10.
No.
Is it somewhere around 15 or 16?
1613 is about the frogs. 3 unclean spirits like frogs.
Yes,
All right. 1613.
1613. The sixth angel poured out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up to prepare the way for the kings of the east. Then I looked and saw 3 evil spirits that looked like frogs. They came out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. They are spirits of demons performing miraculous signs, and they go out to the kings of the whole world to gather them for the battle of the great day of God Almighty. And I came to Christ in the 1970s. I was saved in 1975. And in the 1970s was the probably the heyday of the church being excited about the return of Christ, at least in America. That was just, topic 1 through 15, everywhere in the church. And, there were seminars, there were books, there were movies, things like A Thief in the Night, and A Distant Thunder, those movies that were made. It was just a time of tremendous excitement because people saw the physical fulfillment of prophecies. What were some of the things that they saw?
Wars, rumors of wars.
How many years have there been in human history in the last 2,000 years where there wasn't a war?
There's always been.
And people always, and they talked about that, but what does Jesus say about wars and rumors of wars?
They'll always be.
What does Jesus specifically say about wars and rumors of wars?
Always.
Where's it found? Where's that found?
When
And the times.
But where's the verse?
Revelations,
Daniel.
No. Matthew
24.
Matthew 24. What is it, about 6? Someplace early in the chapter. 6. Yeah. What does he say specifically about the wars and rumors of wars?
It's beginning of birth pains.
It's the beginning of birth pains. And what else does he say? He says something else.
Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places.
But he says something very specific.
he says, don't be alarmed.
Don't be alarmed. This is not what really matters.
Is it like false labor?
This is, what do they call that? What, anybody know the technical term?
Braxton Hicks.
Braxton Hicks. False labor.
Sidebar.
Braxton Hicks. It feels like labor, but it's not. And so Jesus says, don't get all, there's wars and rumors of wars. Those things are going to happen. Now, if you go back to Daniel, how does that tie into Daniel? Remember, everything comes out of Daniel 9:24 to 27.
8 to that?
Yes, wars and rumors of war. How does that relate to Daniel?
With the Jewish people always in war? Always.
There's a specific thing that it says there.
27.
No, it's not 27.
Continue until the end.
Wars, there's an and there.
And desolations.
Wars and desolations are decreed unto the end. So how long will there be wars? All through the age of the Gentiles, because remember 26 is that time after the anointed one is cut off. What's that?
Okay.
That's Messiah, 25. Messiah will be cut off. What is that?
2,000 years ago.
But what's that? What is
At the
that?
end of 69 weeks.
The crucifixion.
The crucifixion.
Oh.
Jesus dies. Then it says what? As soon as it says Messiah will be cut off, the anointed one will be cut off, then what does it say?
Not for himself.
What's the next thing?
That shall come, shall destroy the city.
Oh, after that, they'll destroy the temple. Did that happen after Jesus died?
Yes.
78.
70 AD. So now we've jumped 40 years. So we are now in this time within the 70 weeks that aren't part of the 70 weeks. The 69th week ended with
Jesus' death.
the death of Jesus. The anointed one will be cut off after 7 sevens and 62 sevens. What's 7 and 62?
69.
69. So after 69 sevens, 483 years, Jesus will be killed. And then it goes on and says, okay, so a bunch of things are going to happen before the 70th seven starts. Number one is the prince of the people who will come, the Roman Empire, will come and will destroy the temple. Did that happen?
Yes.
Then what does it say?
People will be scattered in diaspora.
What's it say? It's right there. And war will continue until the end. The end of what?
Age of the Gentiles.
The age of the church until the beginning of the 70th week. So how long have there been wars and rumors of wars?
Or since
Long time.
From the time that Jesus died, you can go back before that, but from that time right up to this time, and there will continue. So Jesus says, when you hear wars and rumors of wars, just go, yeah. We're not rushing to the hospital yet. This isn't real labor. Okay? Does that make sense? Do you see how the scripture fits together there?
Yep.
So now, what are the things that will actually signal? And there are 5. What are the 5 signs of the end? That we are at the time of the end. And there are 5 signs.
Isn't one of them that the gospel will go out and all the languages?
Anybody, well, let's not get things together.
Are you talking about the beginning of the tribulation time?
I'm talking about the sign that we are very near to the end of the age.
Israel's back
The
in
building of the
as a
third
nation
temple.
again.
increasing of knowledge.
Let's look at them. Number 1, Matthew 24:14. This is probably the most important one.
Yeah, that's the one I just said. And the gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come.
Notice he said, when there's wars, rumors of wars, don't get all concerned. He said, when nation rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, earthquakes in a whole bunch of places, that, yeah, no, but he says, when the gospel is preached to the whole world. What's he say will happen then?
The end shall come.
Then the end shall come. So the first and probably most important sign is the fulfillment of the Great Commission to go into all the world. How complete will the preaching of the gospel be before the return of Christ?
Say, come.
Anybody have a verse that can support that? And you're going to want to write this down right beside Matthew 24:14. Revelation 5:9. Revelation 5:9. What's Revelation 5:9 say? And I will highly recommend write these down in your Bible, not in a notebook, because you're more likely to have your Bible with you than your notebook. If you look at mine, I have them right here written in my Bible.
And they sang a new song, saying,
They
"You
have
are."
them on the side. I'm saying what chapter is that? you have?
Matthew 24:14. What's it say?
Verse 14.
And they sang a new
Revelation.
song,
Keep going.
saying, "You are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals, for you were slain and have redeemed us to God by your blood out of every tribe and tongue and people and nation, and have made us kings and priests to our God."
Okay. Now, where is this scene taking place?
In heaven,
In heaven. Who are these people who are speaking or
People
singing?
who are saved.
angels.
Were angels redeemed by the blood of?
Oh, no.
Who are these people?
People have died and are already with Christ.
They are the saints of the pre-tribulation period. People in the tribulation period, are they dead yet?
No.
We're in heaven. They're still down on earth. Right? Revelation 4 and 5 is the church in heaven while the tribulation is on earth. Right?
Right.
So these are the people who were raptured before the
Tribulation
beginning
starts.
of the tribulation. And who is there? It says it. Answer isn't written on me, it's written right in front of you. Who is there?
Jesus.
Jewish people.
Not what it says. I didn't see the word Jewish there anywhere.
Angels numbering in thousands.
Nope. We are in 5:9.
Worthy is the
Of
Lamb.
every tribe, tongue, and people and nation.
Human beings from every tribe, nation, language group, and people group. So before the rapture happens, people from every single language group, at least one person will have to be saved.
Probably be more than that, though.
What?
Probably more than just one.
At least one, because there's at least one there. We can say more than one, but at a minimum, because there is somebody there from every language group on earth. How many languages are there on earth?
It's like 80 something.
Not even close.
6,000 something.
6,000 language groups.
Oh, no.
There are 6,000 languages on earth. How many of them have been reached? I don't know if all have,
5,999.
but they are well over 5,000 and closing in on 6.
So we know at least
Oh, I
that
thought you
there will
meant
be
there. when this was going on.
Right now,
Okay, here.
the gospel has been taken into at least 5,000, going for 6,000. How many was it 20 years ago? Under 3,000. So in 20 years, we've almost doubled the number of languages that have been reached.
Just out of curiosity, how do we know how many different language groups there are?
Well, because now there's so much communication around the world. Might there be a language group hidden someplace that we haven't contacted yet? You
There
know,
is an island, I think it's like off the coast of India or Africa, where people are not allowed to go to that island or they will be killed. There was just a recent, like within the past year or two, where some guy was on a missionary quest and he went to the island and they killed him. They won't let any outsiders come to their island.
so, but by and large, the days when, 100 and some years ago, Edgar Rice Burroughs could write about dinosaurs living in South America in a hidden valley. Could somebody write that and expect people to believe it today?
Not with
Why?
satellites in space.
Because of the satellite mapping that we've got, they have mapped the world's surface pretty extensively. And I'm sure we don't even know the limit to what they've really done with it. You know, we operate on the GPS system that's the civilian one. Anybody here believe that the military one isn't a lot more accurate than the civilian one?
Well, I'm sure it updates more than once every other year too.
Yeah. Once every other second. So there's the first one. When I got saved in 1975, no one took these scriptures seriously. And I can remember people saying, well, some of the people will be reached during the tribulation period by the 144,000. But these people were saved before the tribulation period. They were raptured and are in heaven. So that cannot be. And so when people say, oh, we know all the 50 years ago when I got saved, people were poo-pooing scriptures that have now been fulfilled or on the verge of being fulfilled. So there's number one. What's the second one?
Knowledge will increase. Knowledge will increase.
I'm going to go in a different Daniel 9:27. What's that talk about? That's 12.
He will confirm a covenant with many of 1:7.
So what has to happen for the Antichrist to be able to fulfill a covenant?
The peace treaty.
So what has to happen for that to happen?
Church age has to end.
That's true.
Israel to lay their arms down.
Israel has to be a nation again.
Well, they are now.
They are now. But for 2,000 years of church history, the church said, oh, no, that's not necessary. Israel has to be back in the nation, but what else has to be true?
Temple.
That they don't control the area that they're allowed to build the temple.
Because if they were, they would have built it.
And what is this peace treaty that Antichrist signs?
Allows them to build the temple.
To build the temple. So you have to have Israel in the land, but not controlling the Temple Mount to be able to build the temple. What do we have today? Israel in the land,
But they don't.
not able to build a temple because who controls the Temple Mount?
The
The
mosque.
Muslims, the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And that peace treaty is going to allow the Antichrist to build the temple, which then, as it says in the middle of 27, he'll then go to in the 3.5 year mark and
He sets in the temple himself.
set up the abomination of desolation. But there's another little hidden thing in there. How long would it have taken them to build the temple 1,000 years ago?
Took them about 30 years.
Well, it took
How
Solomon's crew
old
7
was
years.
the temple? How old was the temple?
Solomon's temple was built in 7 years.
How old was the temple that Herod's temple, the biggest of the Jewish temples?
46 years.
Probably longer. They had been building it for decades and it wasn't done. And in fact, when they destroyed it in 70 AD, 40 years after, they were still building it.
Wow, can you imagine that? We just put the last rock on it.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, baby.
That's like finishing a jigsaw puzzle and somebody pushes it off the table.
Yeah. That sounds like a union job. Number 3, Isaiah 32:13. Isaiah 32:13.
Was 2 Israel has to be back in the nation?
It has to be back as a nation in the land, but not controlling the temple.
Not control.
They had 32.
Isaiah 32:13.
Thank you.
Hold on.
On the land of my people will come up thorns and briars. Yes, on all the happy homes in the joyous city.
Keep going.
Because the palaces will be forsaken, the bustling city will be deserted, the forts and towers will become lairs forever, and a joy of wild donkeys, a pasture of flocks, until the Spirit is poured upon us from on high, and the wilderness becomes fruitful field, and the fruitful field is counted as a forest.
So
Continue.
what is until the Spirit begins to be poured back out on Israel, the time of leading up to the return of to the Israel time clock of Daniel's 70 weeks. What will Israel be like?
Going up to the time.
Alive.
Yep,
Desolate.
it'll be desolate. In the I believe it was 80s,
Balfour Agreement.
a British nationalist, right after Britain got some control over the nation of Palestine, hiked from the Negev down at the Dead Sea all the way up the Jordan River to Galilee. Anybody know how far that is? 80 miles. And on that journey, he counted by number, by hash mark, every tree he could see on his journey. And it was under 100 trees in 80 miles. I can walk out in this parking lot and probably see 80 trees here.
If you could count them.
So can you imagine going 80 miles and seeing under 100 trees?
No.
How would you describe a land where you can hike 80 miles and see under 100 trees?
Desolate.
Aaron.
Barren, desolate. That's what Israel was 150 years ago. As of right now, what is Israel?
It's green.
It is the highest producing land on earth, acre for acre. 1/3 of all the fruit eaten in Europe is grown in Israel. Tiny little Israel produces 1/3 of the fruit eaten in the entire continent of Europe. When Kathy and I were over there, one of the 3 times, we were at a roadside stand. We'd stopped at a place and I rode a camel, and Kathy didn't want to ride a camel, especially after she saw me do it and said, no, thank you. I know with absolute certainty that the Magi that visited Jesus did not ride camels.
Too hard.
How do you know that?
Wise man.
They were wise men.
Yeah.
And any man that's wise would not ride a camel. They are
Very-
miserable to ride. But Kathy just wanted to buy some fruit. You can't buy an apple there or a pear. Why?
Because of the water?
Because the skin is permeable, but that the water can get the bacteria into it and it can give you dysentery. But what kind of fruit can you eat?
Anything that has a,
Citrus fruit. Thick, where you peel the entire thing off.
right.
So she went over and wanted to get a grapefruit. And she's looking at these grapefruits that were pretty decent sized grapefruits. They were like this big. And she goes, these grapefruits look weird. They're like a really orangey color.
They're oranges.
And the guy looks at her and goes, those aren't grapefruits, those are oranges. The grapefruits are over there. And the grapefruits were like this
Wow.
big. All that has happened in the last 100 years. The rainfall in Israel has quadrupled in the last 100 years. It's gone from about 16 inches a year, which is desert, to 64 inches a year, which is about what we get here in New Jersey, which is very conducive to growing.
Do they get flooding out of that or no?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yep. I was there one time when the Jordan River was at highest flood stage, and we couldn't even do baptisms. Where they did the baptisms in the Jordan was 5 foot underwater. And that's kind of up out of the, it was and if you'd have stepped into that torrent, you'd have been in the Dead Sea before you could breathe twice.
Oh, wow, it moves that fast?
Oh, it was just raging. Number 4, Zephaniah 3:9. Little tiny book of Zephaniah.
Guess I should read that before I meet him.
3:9.
For then I will restore to the peoples a pure language, that they all may call on the name of the Lord, to serve him with one accord.
For then, and he's talking about the time of the end, I will restore to the people a pure language. Even in the days of Jesus. What was the primary language of
Greek.
the Jewish people?
Aramaic,
Aramaic. It was not
Hebrew,
Hebrew.
the dead language.
By going forward into the Middle Ages, what was the most common language of the Jewish people? Yiddish. What is Yiddish?
A mixture of Hebrew, German, and a few other.
Aramaic, Hebrew, German, and
They still speak.
I'm sorry?
They still speak.
Sure, yeah.
It's a native.
But the Europe, most Jews moved to Europe and
Ashkenazi Jews.
Yeah. So how would you describe Yiddish?
Closer to Hebrew.
An impure language. It was a mixture language.
It is to me.
Yeah.
That's good, Nick.
But Zephaniah prophesies at the time of the end, I will purify the language of my people Israel so that they can worship me with a pure tongue. What happened in 48? As
Israel became
soon
a nation.
as the Jewish people went into the nation, the Knesset, scholar, a Jewish rabbinical scholar went into the Knesset and said, we're God's people back in God's land, reading God's word. We need to speak God's language. And they passed a law that the official language of Israel would be Hebrew. And they restored, as close as they could do it, modern Hebrew, which is based on ancient biblical Hebrew.
Were there still people that were speaking Hebrew? when-
It was a totally dead language. Were there people that spoke it? Absolutely. In the synagogue, but it was not a common tongue used for common purposes.
Well, the reason I was asking is because if no one spoke it, how could you go back to it without any type of reference?
You can't go back to it as a spoken language in being, but they have reconstructed it as purely as they can reconstruct it.
That happened immediately, you said?
Yeah.
You say
Yep.
started the.
Well, it was something like 3 months after the Knesset was formed. I have the date. If I go back to Zephaniah, I can give you the exact date. Yeah. Just gotta go back to Zephaniah and I can do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
It was done, May 1948.
That was only I think it was May 14th or something like that, it's when Israel became the nation, so it wasn't long afterwards.
Yeah, it was immediate.
Did you write that in there or was it in the notes?
I wrote it in my notes.
okay.
I write things right if you,
Written in mine from you too.
yeah, you write it,
It's your Bible. You get to do it.
yeah. Number 5. A controllable, i.e. cashless society. Revelation 13, 16, and 17.
We're a ways off from that.
Not,
With those bits.
I was being sarcastic.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Uh,
There's a lot of places that won't take cash anymore.
Been a long time.
None of the stadiums, you have to have a credit card.
Yeah,
Anything you buy in a stadium.
Which is illegal.
Well,
yeah, go tell them that.
I know,
Try to
but,
get yourself a code.
yeah.
Our school
They're
just
getting a
switched
hot
to
dog in there.
cashless.
what is on every, and see, that's where, this is all Antichrist, because it violates the law. I have some,
It's
It's-
acceptable for legal tender.
God we trust.
there is a written thing on every paper bill.
that's an old bill.
It is. I've
No.
got some newer
Like
ones,
that.
all of them.
Federal Reserve note.
Are you talking because it's a $10 bill and it's a
Nope.
different color?
Federal
No.
Reserve note.
Guarantee that.
Yeah, federal.
This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. Most of us don't know what that phrase means. What does that phrase mean?
They have to accept it.
It means if I owe you $10, hey, I want to buy that thing. Okay, I'll sell it to you for $10. Here's $10. I don't take paper money. That's mine for free. If you deny accepting this bill in payment of the debt,
Federal violation.
It is a breaking of federal law. I get to keep the product and you get paid nothing.
Yeah, let's see
Wow,
you take
I like
that.
it.
So-
Now, so this is gonna be something that Satan's gonna have to change.
But they're changing it. Is anybody enforcing that today?
No.
So when you walk up to a thing, they go credit card only. Are people saying, wait a minute, I've got legal tender right here. You have to, we don't accept that.
What's
And
the
if
thing-
you call the cop over and say, I want them arrested for not accepting legal tender,
Go arrest you.
yeah,
it's the same thing with on your social security card. It says not to be used for any form of identification.
Yes.
yeah. It's right there on it.
But it wants it.
And there's actually a federal law against requiring a social security number
Yeah,
from anyone except the Social Security Administration. But try to get a bank account without it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or try to talk to a cop without giving them something like it. So, but Revelation,
Was the verses? It's chapter 13.
yeah, 13, 16, and 17.
16, 17. Thank you.
For almost all of human history, let's go up to, let's say 1000 AD. Could anyone control the economy?
No, it
Why?
was too vast.
One, there was no cash, so.
It was cash.
No, not, there was very little cash compared to the economy.
Really?
What was the vast
Oh, they did
number?
trading.
Yeah.
Barter. Most of the economy of the world until 1000, maybe less than that years ago, was a barter economy. I've got a quart of wheat. You've got a quart of milk. I'll trade you my wheat for your milk. You've got eggs. I've got beef. I'll trade you, a certain amount of beef for a certain amount of eggs.
It was a good old
Can
days.
anybody control that? Can anybody stop people from bartering?
No,
It's impossible. What replaced bartering?
Salt.
Well, there's not enough gold to handle the world economy.
Coins. Cash.
Cash. Cash. The advent of paper money allowed people to carry enough wealth in their pocket.
Not received.
Yeah, not receipt. Carry enough wealth in their pocket. If I had to carry all of this in coins,
Here, give it to me, I'll carry it for you.
that now you could have but can you control a cash society?
Yes.
No.
Easier than you can a barter, but.
Easier than a barter, but can you control it?
No.
No.
Are they stopping the drug cartels from getting their money out of the country and to them?
No.
No. Are they stopping the weapons dealers from throwing a suitcase down on the ground saying, I'll take those weapons?
Nope.
No.
No. You can't stop it if people can hold it in their hands.
You cashless.
You need a cashless society, and the only way that Antichrist can control the entire economy is to have a cashless society.
Bitcoin.
And technologically, that was an impossibility up until the very modern era.
Basically, the beginning of the credit card.
And it began with credit cards, but credit cards weren't enough. You've got to have this whole integrated system where Nick was talking about getting money out of a bank. How much money does banks have?
Lots.
Not much.
Not much.
Very, very little.
That's right.
Very, very little.
The,
Where is all the money of the United States?
Central bank.
Fort Knox.
No, no,
Federal
no,
Reserve,
no,
Wall Street.
no. In a computer. It's digits in a computer.
Oh,
That's all it is. I can look up how much I have in my bank account. The bank doesn't have the amount of money I have in my bank account. If I go to my local branch, they don't have that. And if you added up everybody's bank account, nobody in the world has that. If you piled every single printed bill in the world of American money, it wouldn't be a small fraction of the money that all the Americans have in their savings. Not to mention corporations and everybody else. It's all just numbers on a screen somewhere.
So if all the computers in the world suddenly with a magnetic wipe, we would pretty much.
Done. Can somebody control that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a couple more. When in Revelation, what is it, 10, the two witnesses, what happens with the two witnesses?
Killed.
They get killed, and what happens?
There's a celebration, then they get up and on 3
There's a
days.
great celebration as people all over the world look upon their dead bodies. How long has it been possible to do that?
Oh.
Just recently.
I'm sorry?
Since
1980s. The first real event that was seen worldwide, live, around the entire world was the Challenger explosion.
Well, now it's even more so because people have smartphones and they can see it right.
And it
now.
goes right onto the internet.
Tsunami,
What?
the tsunami, they watch people die right.
Um,
hundreds of
People
thousands.
say, well, I remember where I was when I saw Kennedy killed. How many people saw Kennedy shot?
Nobody. Only the people there.
Just
The
those.
people in Dallas. Even 60 years ago in 1963, when that happened, how did people get to see Kennedy being shot?
They had to
Videotape.
send the
Recordings.
Movies were taken.
They took the physical film that the guy took to the local TV station and began copying it on copy machine, film copiers as quickly as they possibly could, put them on jets and flew them across the country. And as each station got them, they started copying them and putting them in cars and planes and flying them. And that's the only way that people could see it. It was hours later that people actually saw the event. But today, just with this that I'm holding in my hand, people on the opposite side of the world could see that event. Couldn't have happened. 40 out of all of human history couldn't have happened until the last 40 years. So here's what I want to say though. What we didn't think about at all during the 1970s when I was saved, everybody was thinking about these physical things that were happening. Europe coming together, Israel back in the land, fighting over the temple, all this. But there is also a psychological preparation that needs to happen. 80 years ago, when Social Security was formed, what was the response to Social Security?
They were
90
afraid it
years.
was going to be the mark of the beast, and that's why they put that saying on there that it's not a form of ID.
People would not accept a Social Security number until they put that why is it in the legislation cannot be used as an identification for, because until that was put in, most Americans would not accept a Social Security number.
They do the Bible.
Because they knew the Bible and they said, this is the forerunner of the mark of the beast. I want nothing to do with it.
Now,
How many people are worried about their Social Security number being part of the mark of the beast today?
nobody.
Some.
And you have no choice because you have to get it as an infant,
Yeah.
so.
But even that, the people just, and if you say to most people today, younger than I am anyway, younger than some of you, having a social security number is a forerunner of the mark of the beast. What will most people do to that?
In your face.
Bug eyed.
They will laugh at you.
They'll have no idea what you're talking.
Right. So there had
The
to
mark
be
of the
a
what?
psychological preparation for Antichrist to come. And when it talks about the Holy Spirit is holding him back, part of that is the Holy Spirit through the church was keeping enough truth in the society that people were resistant to these ideas. People didn't want the government controlling everything because they said, if you let the government control everything, that's preparing for Antichrist.
Is there something like Social Security in the other countries?
Oh, yeah.
No, there is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now, in every third world country, no. But across Europe, our social security system is antiquated compared to most of Europe. Most of Europe, because most of Europe is far more socialist even than we are. Think about the Democrats on steroids, and you've got most of Europe, where you are a ward of the state. Some of the countries in Europe, like Sweden, I couldn't take my mother to the hospital in Sweden. My mother just was rushed to the hospital. She had a stent put in, and they saved her while she was having a heart attack. If she'd have been in Sweden, you know what would have happened?
She would have
Come back in 9 months.
No, they would have said at 96, you are not fit for the expenditure of that many resources on a 96-year-old. We will put you on palliative care and keep you comfortable until you die in 2 or 3 days.
Is that because it's, they're
Just the way it is.
rural medicine kind of thing, the government owns it?
Yep,
Remember when President Obama said, take a pill?
take a pill. We'll just give you a pill.
God bless. Have a great week.
There was still bartering. I just want to say,
Yes. You too. Take care.
there was still bartering in 19.